Welcome to Football Scientific. I'm Aaron Sauter, your professor of football science. I'm here today to basically catch up with some NFL news, CFL news, UFL. It's been a busy week. I spent the last 2 days typing articles. So 2 days ago, I made an article, a gallery, if you will, about the most critical stat for every NFL team in Week 14, kind of going through what happened to help them win or lose the game. I think that as a coach, that's really important. Look at those stats and figure out, what's the key stat for those teams. How do you get those teams fixed? That's how you get them fixed, man. Or that's how you keep winning if you're winning. Also, today I released my Week 15 power rankings on footballanalysis1.com. It is titled NFL Power Rankings for Week 15. Pretty straightforward. Also, yesterday I wrote an article about the Hamilton Tiger Cats schedule being released 2026. I went through some highlights on that. And then also Jamal Peters got re-signed yesterday by the Tiger Cats, and they signed a couple more skills players. So I went there and wrote about that in CFL News. So check those articles out. That'd be great. And if you like Football Scientific, you'll love those articles. If you don't like Football Scientific, you'll probably really love those articles because I don't talk in them. That's pretty good. All right, I'm joined today by my guest host, Tyler the Tiger. Tyler the Tiger, ready to go, ready to get it. I'm just fired up, and we're going to talk about some NFL news and CFL news and IFL news. And are we going to do a prediction for the Thursday Night Football game tonight? Yes, we are going to do a prediction for the Thursday Night Football game tonight. Atlanta Falcons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also, we have started a TikTok channel. Check that out, man. Football Scientific TikTok. What are we using it for? Just trying to get more exposure, man. Trying to get more exposure. We're the punk rock YouTube channel. We're just trying to get maximum exposure, and we're doing for it. But we did sell out a little bit because we are sponsored by W Energy. W Energy, it doesn't give you jitters and it doesn't give you angst. It makes you feel good and ready to stay up all night and play video games and watch game film or one of those two. But it depends on which person you are. So if you're a gamer, then you're going to play games. If you're a football analyst like us, you're going to watch film, and that's how it goes. Either way, W is great for both. And Professor, you look a little tired today. I look a little tired today. You do look a little tired today. Why do I look tired today? I don't know. It's in your eyes. But, what would help? What would help? Some W Energy. Okay, I got a cup right here. Oh, good. Here's our W Energy. Okay, it's blue today. It is blue today. That's delicious. Let me take a sip. Okay. Wow, that tastes great. That's a new flavor for us. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm amazed by how good W Energy drinks taste. They're so amazingly good. All right, I'm going to drink some too, so I look just less tired. Wow, that's great. Tank, 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 tank. Look at that W Energy drink. Well, amazingly fun that is. Okay. All right. All right, Tyler, you ready to go into this episode of Football Scientific? Yeah, let's break it down. Yeah, let's break it down. Here we go. So first, NFL. Just a bunch of roster changes and stuff. Indianapolis Colts. In case you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock, Daniel Jones is done for the year. He tore his Achilles in Jacksonville. Done. Quarterback Riley Leonard came into the game and hurt his knee, so he's not been practicing. Brett Rippon went from the practice squad to the active roster. He's a practice squad quarterback. And then they signed Phillip Rivers. He coming back since he retired in 2020. That's crazy. He's back. He was a survivor of the Colts. Why would he come back to them? Because he's friends with Shane Steichen. He didn't want to see him get fired. And I guess he runs his offense at the high school level. So that means Shane Steichen runs a high school level offense. Think about that for a minute. Okay. All right. But anyway, Phillip Rivers looks like he's going to start this week against the Seahawks. I bet the Seahawks will tear him up. That's what they're hoping to do. Boom. A bunch of NFL teams have been eliminated from the playoffs. Tennessee Titans, New York Giants, Saints, New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Washington Commanders, Falcons, Cardinals, Raiders. They're all eliminated from the playoffs, man. So you're down to, 23 teams left to hit 14 spots. So you're getting down to it. Boom. Hanging on just by tiny threads, Minnesota Vikings. They won last week to keep themselves in it, but it's not looking good. If they lose again, they're out. Kansas City Chiefs, they cannot win the AFC East for the first time in 9 years. They've won the AFC East 9 consecutive years, and they cannot win it now. They're out of the race for the AFC West. They're trying to go in a wild card spot, but it's not looking good. But yeah, I got whacked by the Texans last week. Houston Texans, speaking of the Texans, agreed to extend a contract for 1 year for tight end Brevin Jordan. Okay, so he gets an extra year on his contract, but he's out with an ACL tear, so what's the deal with that? I guess they just want to see what he has and bringing him back. He can't play this year. Washington Commanders tight end Zach Ertz tore his ACL against the Minnesota Vikings, so he's done. So Washington's really getting down to bare bones, man. Cleveland Brown head coach Stefanski says that Shedeur Sanders will be quarterback one the rest of the season. Okay. Just giving him reps, trying to see if they can build something around him. Indianapolis Colts. For the third time this season, quarterback Shavarius Ward is in the concussion protocol. I suspect that they moved him to the IR. I bet they're going to shut him down for the year. 3 concussions in 1 year. That's not good, man. Cincinnati Bengals waived. Remember, they didn't take Jermaine Burton to Buffalo with them last week because of some kind of dispute. And they have now waived wide receiver Jermaine Burton. He's a third-round draft pick for him in 2024. They're always horrible at drafting people, man. Jamar Stewart. Wide receiver T. Higgins is in the concussion protocol again. He came back too early. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson is set to undergo. He's only going to go core muscle surgery. He's done. They put him on the IR. He's out for 6 weeks, they said. Baltimore Ravens, the NFL suspended Ravens offensive line banned Cleveland for 3 games for violating the substances abuse programs. So he's PEDing. That's why. Well, they're not playing very well because it's not working. He got the wrong PEDs. Atlanta Falcons claim former Packers wide receiver Malik Haiti or something off white waivers from Green Bay. Yawn. I think that's maybe they're gonna move him in with a Drake London spot. I guess because Drake London's still hurt, man. Boom. Kansas City Chiefs left tackle Wamia Morris is suffering a knee injury. He's getting evaluated, but he's probably done for the year. Looking like a big guy with a knee injury. That's a bad mix, man. Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed outside linebacker Jason Pierre-Paul. Yeah, JPP, the guy who blew his fingers off with a firework, man. He had played for the Buccaneers back in 2018, 2021, and then he played his last game with Miami in 2023. And then he retired, but they brought him back, man. So Jason Pierre-Paul is back for Tampa Bay. He'll probably play tonight against the Falcons. Indianapolis Colts, they signed Phillip Rivers, as mentioned. Because Daniel Jones wore 17 and Phillip Rivers wore 17. Daniel Jones is out on the IR, so Phillip Rivers is going to wear his old number 17. It's going to be a little weird. He's doing it to help out Shane Steichen. That's why he came back. He thinks he's going to be great this week. Most likely he's going to start because Riley Leonard, even if he was good, which he's not, he has a hurt knee. All right, Cleveland Browns, they placed center Ethan Posick and running back Jerome Ford on the IR. So they're beat up. Washington Commanders placed tight end Zach Ertz on the IR because of the torn ACL. They signed running back Chase Edmonds from the practice squads that are moving up. They signed cornerback Kevin Seymour to the practice squad. Okay, just moving some personnel, trying to cover up these injuries and weaknesses. Indianapolis Colts, I've talked about that. So they placed Shavarius Ward on IR due to the concussion situation. They also signed kicker Blake Grupe to the active roster, and they signed quarterback Brett Rippon to their active roster from the practice squad. And then they, of course, added Phillip Rivers. So their quarterback room looks entirely different now. That's crazy. Arizona Cardinals, it seems like they're not going to reactivate. They've committed to not reactivating running back Trey Benson. They said, hey, there's no use for it. We're done, and we're not going to make the playoffs, and we don't want to get him hurt big time. So they're not going to bring him back. Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels is out again. He suffered another elbow injury, so they say it wasn't the same one, but worse. It's a different one. Either way, it seems like he came back too early, man. Cincinnati Bengals clear defensive end Shamar Stewart to return from injured reserve. Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Drake London is out for another week. I think they're really going to miss him against the Buccaneers tonight. Houston Texans tight end Harrison Bryant and wide receiver Justin Watson return to the practice squad. Return to practice, not the practice squad. So they return to practice. So they must have been hurt or coming back. Feeling good. Okay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers activated wide receiver Mike Evans. So they'll get Mike Evans back. And wide receiver Jalen McMillan. from the IR. They're going to be able to play Thursday night. So they're back. Remember, they've been practicing. The coach didn't think they were ready last week, so now he thinks they're ready. And they were so bad and got beat by the Saints. It looks like they're going to put them back in. Even if it's too early, they're like, man, we can't be getting beat by the Falcons. Seriously. Indianapolis Colts quarterback Riley Leonard finally started practicing yesterday after getting a strained knee ligament. He's available for Sunday, but it sounds like Phillip Rivers is going to start. Will he survive the game? I don't think so. He'll probably see Riley Leonard by the third quarter, honestly. Baltimore Ravens, they have extended nose tackle Travis Jones to a 3-year, $40.5 million contract extension through 2028. When you got a player you like, pay him. You get to keep him longer. It's a cheaper price you're paying him rather than waiting. The Bengals need to get on doing this kind of stuff, man. Cincinnati Bengals played the end. Trey Hendrickson in the IR due to a hip and pelvis injury. And then there's a nasty rumor Joe Burrow wants to be traded, but I don't think they're going to trade him. Man. They don't trade anyone, especially if you ask. Too bad for him. Wow, that's some great W energy, and it doesn't give me jitters. All right, boom. Tonight kicks off Week 15, Thursday Night Football. We get the Atlanta Falcons at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's coming off that horrible loss to the Saints. They made them tie the Carolina Panthers. They really need to win this game. Falcons, their coaching staff's playing for their careers right now, okay? They're about to get fired, it sounds like. The underpinnings, the rumblings under the surface say Raheem Morris and his staff's about to get dumped on them. So they're trying to get a win, man. They're trying to get a win. But this is not the night. Drake London's not there. I don't like their passing game. They need to pound the rock and do some play action stuff. They try to throw too many intricate passes with Kirk Cousins, and he ain't that guy, man. He ain't that guy. He's good at play action and dump it, boot guy. He's good at that. You drop him back and try to put it in tight windows. It ain't going to happen, okay? I predict, and Football Scientific and W Energy all agree with me, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win 24-21, okay? But DraftKings says they'll win by 4, but we don't agree with that. We think the Falcons will keep it within 3 just because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't seem to be hitting on all cylinders. Falcons are going to cover the 4-point spreads. We're putting our money on them, and over under 44.5 points, we're going over 45. Okay, so that is the prediction for tonight. More NFL news on top of that. Right before we went on the show, outside linebacker T.J. Watt is he headed to the hospital today to get medical evaluations done of his lung. He has suffered some kind of lung injury during practice this week. They don't know if he's going to be available for playing on Monday night against Miami. Okay, all right. Boom, we got a bunch of CFL news along the way. Remember CFLNewsHub.com. I got an article about the recent signings of the Tiger Cats. I'll mention them here. Boom. First, Montreal Alouettes earlier this week signed American defensive back Fayon Hicks. Okay. Edmonton Elks signed American defensive back Jerron Joseph. Calgary St. Peter signed national wide receiver Clark Barnes. People are just, you're stocking up your rookie mini camp roster right now for the most part. Winnipeg Blue Bombers signed American offensive lineman Tyreek Stewart. Ottawa Red Blacks signed global offensive lineman Norridin Nowley. They signed national defensive back Lucas Cormier. Okay, got it. Later in the week, Saskatchewan Roughriders signed American offensive lineman Jamarcus Hardrick. They signed national running back Albert Owachi. Calgary Stampeders signed American offensive lineman Ed Montelis. Okay. BC Lions signed American defensive back Deron Lowe. Edmonton Elks re-signed American quarterback Cody Fajardo. Okay. That's a big deal. They re-signed Cody Fajardo. He's back. Hamilton Tiger Cats did sign American defensive back Cameron Stone, who played for BC a little bit, very little bit, 2 games. And they signed American wide receiver Blaine Taylor, who spent some time with the Colts practice squad last year. Okay. Next. The big one for the Tiger Cats, they did re-sign one of their key free agents, which was cornerback Jamal Peters. They did re-sign him. He was going to be a hot free agent. They re-signed him already, so they took care of business there. They gave him a 2-year contract extension. Last 2 seasons with the Tiger Cats, he has played in 30 games. He's had 10 interceptions, 88 solo tackles, and he's had 1 defensive touchdown. Okay, that came this year. This year he had 16 games he played in, which is more than he did the first year. 6 interceptions, was tied the league with Stavros Kasantonis for most interceptions. One of those returned for a touchdown, and he had 50 solo tackles. Okay, that is your Tiger Cats. Jamal Peters being the other back. Montreal IUS extend the contract to quarterback Davis Alexander. I guess if you go undefeated except for in the Grey Cup, you're going to get some more time to be the starting quarterback. Davis Alexander won that battle. Winnipeg Blue Bombers signed national defensive lineman Cameron Lawson. Okay, that's our CFL. And the IFL. We mentioned a few weeks ago that the IFL had announced a partnership with some kind of streaming company. Let's say DraftKings streaming. FanDuel or something. I didn't really see why that was going to be a big deal, other than the fact they might not allow me to watch IFL games this year, which would turn me off as a fan. But now they're saying you can watch their games on Yahoo Sports, which you can get on Roku or something or other, some app, and they'll be streaming for free during the 2026 season. Hopefully it's streaming for free. I want it to be free, you know. I've never wanted to pay for the IFL. Sorry. UFL. Former Birmingham Stallions quarterback Adrian Martinez has been signed by the New York Jets after being released by the San Francisco 49ers. He was signed by the Jets originally. And then some other UFL stuff. I didn't write an article about this or whatever. I thought I'd mention it here, though. Free agency happened for like the last 3 months, but because Mike Rapole came in and changed the whole league, and we don't know even who the Orlando Storm's going to be or where the Michigan Panthers will be and stuff like that. Free agency had like 6 moves. It was like 6 roster moves with free agents. Jonte Kirkland went to Arlington, and Matt Corral went to the Panthers, but they're not going to be a Panthers or a Michigan, so it's hard to say what was going on. Speaking of Michigan, yesterday, University of Michigan fired head coach Sharon Moore. He did something bad because he got arrested. He didn't get arrested, he got detained, and he was sent to a mental place for what he said to the school administration. That's a bad sign, man. So I guess we're hoping that Sharon Moore is okay, but it doesn't seem like he's doing that well. All right, so that is Football Scientific for today. Thursday Night Football tonight, we got the Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers need a win. Falcons could be very inconvenient and steal that win and really put the Panthers in control of the South. So that'd be pretty cool for the Panthers. Not that I care about the Panthers or anything, okay? So that is the excitement for tonight. Check out footballanalysis1.com. Boom, check out my articles. Check out my power rankings for entering week 15. Check out CFLnewshub.com. My Hamilton Tirecast articles. Got 2 of them out there from yesterday. And then UFLnewshub.com. Check that out. There isn't a lot happening right now, but we'll see what happens. Someone did mention the free agency. That was pretty cool. Okay, so that is what's going on in the writing world. Remember, this is Football Scientific. You gotta like it, you gotta sub it, you gotta share it. Someone said today before I went on, they subbed and they liked it. So let's go. Let's go. Keep it going, okay? Also remember, I'm on TikTok now. I'm gonna make a TikTok. The format's a little different. I'm getting used to it, kind of seeing what works and what doesn't work in terms of getting people to watch. Also, I'm now allowed to put my betting guide information there. They sent me a note on that. I'm not supposed to put the betting guide information on there. So whatever, we don't really care. And I hope you have a good night. Football Scientific, the portal is closing now.